G5 jet. I'm on my way to a brand new check.
Welcome back, eSIM Studios YouTube channel. I apologize for the delay. We are live on this Friday, July 17th, 2026. I apologize. I'm sorry. I told everybody that I was going to start right around 4:30, and I promise you I was sitting right here ready to go. However, I'm recording from my new webcam. So I was on Amazon. I was like, damn, is it going to get here? Is it not going to get here? Should I start? Should I not start? And I went back to look at my last couple of live streams, and the camera was trash. So it's like my forehead area was, the light I have here, it was not good. I looked like I had a Rihanna forehead right here. Supposedly it has some controls. Well, I think I turned it off. Anyways, have a new webcam. It's a 1080p. I finally decided on 1080p. I originally ordered a 4K, but then I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, you know what? Nobody streams in 4K. Like, I went last night. I was looking at some live streams on YouTube, and I was checking the quality. You know, you can go into settings, hit the little gear icon on the top right, and go into advanced, go into quality. And I was looking at all these live streams. Most everybody was in 720, and I was like, 720? And I was like, and there was like one or two in 1080p. So I was like, hold up. So nobody streams in 4K. And I was like, damn, I guess that's right. So I was like, so why do I need a 4K? It was like twice the amount of money. So I canceled that and reordered the same one, just the 1080p version, and had it overnight shipped from Amazon. But I was sitting here twiddling my fingers. Well, I'm actually working on my app right now. Let me show you. While I was waiting on Amazon, I'm working on my wallpaper app. So I was like, well, let me work on the app. Let me just work on the app while I wait for it. I was ready to go. So here in the future, I'm going to try to not start this late. Typically, I'm going to try to start every day around 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Try to. In the last couple of days, I think I started at 4:15, but I'm going to try to tidy up my schedule a little bit more so I can start at 4. So Central Standard Time here in Texas. So I do apologize about that, but I did not want to start another live stream. Like, the little things like that really bother me. So I'm not OCD, but you know, I do want the quality of content. I do need to get better on editing videos, uploaded videos. But this will help as well, because here's the other issue I was having. So in StreamYard, it'll generate, what do they call it? Generate, I don't know. It'll generate shorts for you automatically. But what it does is it takes this 16:9 format right here, and it crops it down just to where my face is in a 16:9 format, but it loses quality when it does that. So you need a quality webcam if you're going to be, you know, turning some of your content into shorts. So anyways, long story short, I do apologize. We got some really interesting news today, stuff to talk about. Also want to see how everybody's doing that's viewing this. And I started today really not knowing what to talk about, but we got some interesting stuff. Like, actually big news that's going to affect a lot of people, especially if you're going to, or potentially going to, get a new Samsung foldable here next week, as well as the Pixel 11 series. And then moving on into the future, we got big news when it comes to future devices. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Hope everybody had a fantastic Friday as we roll into the evening hours, afternoon hours. The rain finally subsided here in Texas. I think this is the first day with no rain in, like, I think literally all week. I think it started raining on like Friday or Saturday of last week. I'm sure you've seen it on the news. It's flooded here. So we've been fortunate enough to not be affected by flooding. I think yesterday I mentioned that the San Antonio, South Texas is like the hill country. It's real hilly, floods super bad in the bottom area of the hills, as you can imagine, where all the rain goes to the bottom, but we are not on a bottom of a hill, so that's good. But if you are watching this in South Texas, hopefully you are okay, and hopefully you didn't lose any homes. I know this area got popular with flooding last year, almost identical day last year. Well, I think we're about a week away when all those that camp. Remember, what was it, in Comfort, Texas, which is about 30 minutes from me, swept away a bunch of those kids. You know, it was a sad deal last year. But you know, hopefully, I think only right now, I think only a couple people. I say only, but compared to last year, you know, wasn't as bad. But it is what it is. Thank God the rain stopped. But let's see how everybody's doing. Yeah, I know. You did not. Everything is a-okay. As I mentioned, I just was waiting on that new webcam to come in, so that's why I'm starting a little late. You get the iPhone 16e on Tuesday for my 19th birthday. Awesome. How do you like it so far? That's a decent phone to get because Apple does a good job with keeping the price down on the E series. It's kind of like an A series device for Pixel for nothing phones. It's like an R series device for OnePlus. It's probably closer to the R series with OnePlus because it's around the same price as the A series for Pixel and nothing. It's right around the same price range as the R series for OnePlus. However, Apple does put more flagship components in that E series than Pixel or nothing. You know, I say it's closer to OnePlus because the R series for OnePlus is essentially last year's flagship model, meaning it's got flagship components inside there. So I think the battery life is supposed to be really good on that, right? Good. Hey, that's fantastic. You know, look, a lot of times you'll hear me shit on Apple or troll Apple, but they make a good product. They make a fantastic product. I will be the first person to admit that. People that love iPhones, and I get that, right? A lot of it here, we like to have a fun time and joke about stuff like that, but I don't, you know, if you like an iPhone, hey, more power to you. I'm happy for you, right? That's kind of the whole point of technology, is find tech that you like and use it, you know? I'm not the biggest iPhone fan, but I get it. Some people are, and some people aren't. Just like some people aren't the biggest Android fans, right? And that's one of the many reasons why I like Android, is because you can have this operating system, but on multiple types of hardware. You know, with Apple, they just give you one product. But hey, if you like it, that is a good phone to get. So I'm happy for you. What's going on, man? Did you have a tracheotomy? No, I have never had a tracheotomy. Use Pixel webcam? I would, however, you know, that you bring up a good point, because I have used that in the past, and actually with my Motorola, you can do that with Smart Cam, and then excuse me, not with Smart Cam, with Smart Connect, and then with Samsung you can do that as well. The Samsung devices pair fantastic with Windows computers, and I'm running a Windows machine right now. However, I run into some issues when using that for a webcam. That would be like, I can do that, but that would be a when all systems fail, use the phone webcam, because honestly, the quality is not top notch. It'll do, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nice to have, and for somebody that's streaming on a consistent basis like myself, you really need a webcam. Like, you can get away with that if you do a web conference, or possibly if you're working remotely and your job, you know, you have a 1 or 2 video conferences per week. You know what I'm saying? It'll do type of thing. But I think for somebody that's streaming on a consistent basis, you really need a webcam because the quality is close, but it's just not there. And it does seem like the frame rate is not all that good. And I think it maxes out at 720p, I think, from what I remember. Yeah, I use Apple. Hey, that's cool. I have no problem. They have the best ecosystem, and that's one of my not necessarily gripes with on the Android side, and it's almost a negative thing for what I was just talking about of having Android on multiple different hardwares. Well, it's also a negative because yeah, you're going to make the ecosystem a little harder to interact with, you know, different manufacturers. Now, I think I was going to talk about this a couple days ago but didn't get around to it. This is probably the perfect opportunity. The phone link application on your window, if you're a Windows user, Windows, I think they're going to push it out next week, is supposed to get much better if you have an Android device. So if you have any Android device, you know, you can use phone link on your Windows PC, but it's general connectivity, right? You can see your text messages, and it's actually, I think it's RCS. I think they've paired it to RCS, but you know, it's just basic stuff. Well, Windows is pushing an update to the phone link application, as I mentioned, I think next week, to where it's supposed to open up just a plethora of functionalities, features that you can do with any Android. Now, I say any Android phone, but you know, you can't have like a budget Android, like a 7-year-old Motorola phone, and expect it to work that good. It needs to be relatively new. It doesn't have to be flagship, but you get the point. And then obviously the second best ecosystem is probably Samsung. Well, I know, not probably, it is Samsung, meaning like Apple. If you have an iPhone, an iPad, a MacBook, the Apple Watch, the earbuds, the ecosystem, Samsung's second, right? And I do have a decent amount of Samsung products here. If you have a Samsung phone and ecosystem is important to you, probably going to want to get a Samsung laptop, because not only does that phone link work great with Samsung, but if you have a Samsung laptop, or yeah, they don't make desktops. If you have a Samsung laptop, now you can use Samsung applications on your desktop, meaning Samsung Notes, stuff like that, right? Now you can use Samsung Notes now. I have a little hack, a little script for my computers, a bash, that I trick my computer into thinking it's a Samsung computer, it's a Samsung laptop. So every time I restart, whether it's my HP laptop or whether it's my Asus Intel NUC mini PC, I have a script that every time I restart it, it runs this Samsung script right after the restart, and it tricks the computer to think it's a Samsung. So I can run all the Samsung apps on my HP laptop. I might do a video about that, because some of y'all that have a Samsung but have a HP laptop might be interested in that. I don't think I've made a video about that. I might have to here in the future. Watermark. Yeah, you like it? And then StreamYard wants to act up today for some reason. It's amazing. Yeah, that's probably the number one feature on the iPhones. And the camera quality is not all that bad as well. I know it doesn't have the whole setup like a pro model iPhone, but the camera's still decent on there. Like, you're still gonna get good pictures and videos, you know. Yeah, I did. When you want to be the first person to get the OnePlus 16, I don't worry about Chinese ROM. Well, I think there will be an opportunity for you to buy one. It'll go up for sale on GizTop, and actually it won't even be that expensive. Now, I think they're going to raise the price, because if you go on GizTop right now, let's find out. how much the one, I think they're only like 600 US dollars. I mean, it's a pretty good price. Let's see if they still have it though. They might not even carry it. Let's see. So you got the 15T. Here's the 15 for $699. That's a good freaking deal. I anticipate the OnePlus 16 probably brand new is probably going to be $749, something like that, maybe $799, which is way undervalued for underpriced, should I say? Because here in the US, that would probably debut at $999. Now, they're not selling it in the US. I'm just saying if they did, it would probably be on sale for $999, and then out of your pre-order deals in the first couple of weeks, I think regular retail price, if they did sell it in the US, which they're not, but if they did, it would probably start at $1099. Like, it still would be under the S26 Ultra, S27 Ultra, but that's a good deal right there. And the new OnePlus 16 will probably be right around there. So, yeah, it'll be a fantastic deal. If you don't mind the Chinese ROM, it'll be a good deal. And the OnePlus 16 is supposed to be getting all new camera system. The year that they decide to take it away from us, they upgrade the camera system. It's supposed to have a 200 megapixel sensor, all new sensors in there. So it should be a good phone. So, hey, you might want to get it. But they also have some good deals on here as well. If you get one of these, what is it? Let's just say if you get a OnePlus 15T, a OnePlus 15, right now I'm saying if you want to get one in the US, you can still buy one. And they'll flash it. I think they flash it with, this phone is a Chinese edition pre-installed ColorOS, but they will put a global version, or that was only for the OnePlus 15. Let's see. Yeah, software right here. Global ROM. Now remember yesterday, they're going to convert everybody to ColorOS. You'll have the option. You can go the ColorOS route. You can go the Oxygen OS route. Now, if you go the ColorOS route and you want to backtrack and say, nah, I don't really like it, let's go with Oxygen OS, they're going to allow you to do that too. So after having about 24 hours to sleep on it, I think that's probably the best option for users. I think they're certainly looking out for us, to be honest with you. I know it sucks. I know they're taking them away, but it could be worse. They could just throw us to the side. I mean, that was a real possibility of them just not even supporting the phones anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I think what they're doing is, I'm okay with it. So it just depends on if you like ColorOS or not. So no, I'm not going to be getting it. I'm going to upgrade to the Oppo Find X10 Pro Max. That's what I'm going to get. I'm going to get the global model. I think that comes out later in the year. So I think I'm just gonna do that. So I will skip the OnePlus 16. I'm gonna keep mine for a long time and keep that as a little souvenir. But that'll roll us right into the first story. So do you remember? It sounds like Samsung has different plans. It sounds like Samsung has been debating on what to do with these upgrade options, because I mentioned maybe 2 days ago, I think it was on Wednesday, that with all these rise in costs, right, and for the putting the phone together, manufacturing it, and then they essentially pass the cost on to us, which sucks. But I discussed a couple of ways that they can alleviate the rise in cost for the consumer, at least at launch. Maybe not for the life of the device, for when they sell it, but at least during those first 2 weeks, they gotta help us out if Samsung wants to move units. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to find ways to help the consumer out to purchase one of these phones, right? And they're going to have to. Stiff competition versus the iPhone Ultra. iPhone is going to sell a gazillion iPhone Ultras. I'm going to put out a short later this evening, and it is jaw-dropping how many units Apple is expecting to sell. But Samsung is kind of tweaking some, incentives for potential consumers to purchase this product. Now, going back to Wednesday, I mentioned Samsung. There was a leak from obviously an insider or somebody that works there is pushing this info out. Well, when Samsung does the free storage upgrade, so you can purchase a 256 gig model, and then they bump you up to 512 for free, right? Well, on Wednesday we heard that they were going to keep that, but kind of modify it. So what they were going to do is you can get a half storage upgrade. Now, what that means is if you purchase the 256, they're still going to give you the 512, but it's not going to be for free. On Wednesday, the word was you were going to have to pay half of the difference. So if the difference was $400 difference, they would upgrade you to 512, but you would have to pay an extra $200. Now, I don't know if that was going to be an option for users, because some users might be okay with just using a 256. Some users just want to get their foot in the door and don't want to have to pay an extra $200. I think that would probably be optional at checkout, right? They'll give you the option, hey, we'll upgrade you to the next storage tier for an extra $200, instead of $400. Like they're helping us out, which it is, but that was the story Wednesday. I get word today that story was half true, no pun intended. So they're still keeping that. However, they are still going to offer a free storage upgrade. So I know you're wondering, well, what? They're going to offer a free storage upgrade, but they're still keeping, you have to pay half for your storage upgrade? Yes. So here's what the plan is for Samsung. Now, this is for US buyers. I don't know, other regions are under consideration for doing this same strategy. Some regions might get a completely free storage upgrade. Some other regions around the world might get the upgrade where you have to pay half. But here's what they're doing in the United States. I know this for sure. What they're going to do is they're going to give you a free storage upgrade if you purchase the 256 gig model. So if you purchase the 256 Z Fold 8, they're going to bump you up to 512 for free. Here's the catch. If you purchase the 512, you're going to have to pay half of the difference to go up to 1 terabyte. So they're going to do the free storage upgrade if you purchase the 256. So you'll buy a 256, they'll send you a 512 for the same price of a 256. And if you purchase the 512, I think here's what they're going to do at checkout. They're going to put that option in there. Hey, I know you're buying the 512. Do you want to upgrade to the 1 terabyte model for half of that price difference? What it is, I have no idea. I'm assuming it's going to be about $400. So you'll have the option at checkout if you buy the 512 to just stick with the 512, or they're going to let you upgrade to the 1 terabyte, but you got to pay, I don't know, an extra $200. See what I'm saying? So that is the plan at the moment. Now, I wish it was free for everybody, but I don't know. I didn't plan on getting I take that back. Well, now I was going to say I need a 512. Well, I'm not going to buy a fold. I'm going to get a flip. But they don't offer the flip in the 1 terabyte. The flip is only coming in 256 and 512. The Fold 8 and the Fold 8 Ultra are coming in 256, 512, and 1 terabyte. So if you buy the flip, if you're interested in the flip like me, you'll get a free storage upgrade to the 512. So that's pretty nice. Definitely looking forward to that. But that is the trade-in offer that they're going to give U.S. buyers. I don't really know what to say. Like I think they kind of they split it right down the middle. Which, look, I don't work at Samsung. I don't see the numbers. They're doing what's best for them and the consumer. They're trying to meet us halfway. Because remember, Samsung Mobile, this is like their first loss in a fiscal year that they've had in, I think, ever. So they're losing money here. So they don't want to totally screw users and just be money hungry and penny pinching every single dime and penny on the table. But, you know, but they're trying to get people to purchase the device. Now, another way that I think, and we're not going to know this until launch day, but subscribe to the eSIM Studios channel, and I will cover this extensively on launch day. Another way that they can help users upgrade is give us higher trade-in values. So the price per device here for these new foldables are going to increase slightly. Well, see, slightly. They're going to increase. Well, if I'm going to trade in a Flip 6 for a new, if I'm going to trade in a Flip 7 for a new Flip 8, I think the new Flip 8 is, I don't know, I'm just throwing out a number, $1,400. Yikes. Well, instead of getting us $700 for last year's model, like they did last year, give us $1,000 for our trade-in, and then it makes it a little easier to pay $400 instead of $600 or $700. Like, they're going to need to help us out. I think they're aware of this. At least I would hope so. But we will see. We don't know. But there's no word on the trade-in values until launch day. So that's what I mean. Stick around to the channel. We're going to take a deep dive on launch day. We're going to go down trade-in values. We're going to go how much each device is. We're going to look at these devices at carriers. What carrier has the best deal if you want to go that route, because that's certainly an option if you want to take that route. So we shall see. I do have some other news here when it comes to the foldables. So hang on one second. They really were hoping foldables would be like $1,500 or less by now, thanks to manufacturing efficiencies and economics of scale. The component crisis hurts the viability of the form factor long term. Yeah, I would agree with that. Although I guess Apple throwing its hat in the ring will provide a stimulus that's pretty meaning. But boy, at this point, I think they were really hoping affordable phones would not be over $2,000. Correct. It's just simple analytics. The more expensive something, this doesn't go for every single item in every single industry, but typically, the more expensive something is, the less people that have the option to buy it or can buy it. You see what I'm saying? The higher you go on a phone. Look, a phone at this point, I think I discussed this yesterday. A phone at this point is not it comes down to wants and needs. You need a phone, all right, at this point. 10, 15 years ago, there was one every now and then a person, I don't use a cell phone. Like, really? And now it's like, what are you trying to do? Disconnect from the world? Like, at this point, a phone is a need. However, do you need a brand new phone? Maybe you do. Maybe your phone's real shitty. Maybe it's got cracked screens. I get that. But if you sitting here with an S26 Ultra, Motorola Signature, OnePlus 15, Pixel 10 Pro, iPhone 17 Pro, do you really need a new phone? No. That's a want. And the more expensive that want is going to be, you're just going to eliminate people. So yeah, I know nobody saw, I'm not going to say nobody saw this coming, and this isn't a gradual incline with prices, right? Like, over time, stuff gradually gets more expensive, right? But this is such a drastic increase in products and manufacturing, in supply, in everything, that I don't think anybody saw this coming. And yeah, I know that they're probably biting their nails seeing how this launch goes. If you want my honest prediction, I don't think they're going to sell many. I think the Apple iPhone Ultra is going to sell a ton. Now, that's going to be We don't know the starting price. I think Apple at the very base model for the iPhone Ultra, which is what they're calling their iPhone Fold essentially. I think they're going to try to keep it around $2,000, but you're looking at a fully loaded iPhone Ultra, like the 1 terabyte model. That's going to be closer to $3,000 than $2,000, and people are still going to buy it. It's insane. It's their first foldable, highly anticipated device. It's going to blow Samsung foldables out of the water. It is what it is. I think everybody sees this coming. I even think Samsung sees this coming. I think what they're going to be shocked at is just how many few people purchase Samsung foldables. Now, out of the 3 foldables that Samsung's going to offer, my guess, look, the Flip is their highest selling foldable every year because it's the cheaper model. But I think the Z Fold 8, their wide fold, I think that's the most intriguing foldable. And in my opinion, I'm not a foldable person. I love the Flips, but I don't do the folds. And I've never really considered, I thought about, I got real close to trying one a couple years ago. And then we were at Best Buy, and I was gonna get one, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna return it. I'm good. I think the wide fold, the Z Fold 8, that's the first book style foldable that I kind of want to try. You know what I'm saying? So I think that might be the most intriguing device that they're offering. However, I don't think it's going to be their high seller. Maybe I'm wrong, and I could be wrong, right? But it's just so freaking expensive. I don't know. And everybody's attention is going to be on the Apple iPhone Ultra. It is what it is. You know, look, and Samsung might have to scrap a model or two. I don't know what they're going to do, but I think they're going to be shocked at just how many few people purchase these devices. I think their sales are going to plummet. I think the only chance Samsung has to having a decent sales record numbers for these models is on pre-order time. Is in pre-order. That's why I'm kind of shocked they're not doing the complete free storage upgrade. I think if they want people to get in these devices, they're going to have to incentivize users to purchase these things. Other than that, I just don't see a lot of people buying these. I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, I'm either going to import phones or keep heading up resale. I'm just not really vibing with only having Google, Apple, and Samsung to choose from. I guess a few Motorola's. I'm in the same boat as you. I feel the exact same way. I'm going to say I never imported a phone. That's a lie. Well, skip my memory. So very few. Because, I mean, look, our options haven't been always the best, but at this moment right now, it's the worst it's ever been. There's literally, especially in my case, where I'm kind of eliminating Pixel right now for the moment because of the 200 charging cycle thing. I just refuse to use a product where, y'all know the story. Oh God, it bugs me. So I'm going to take a stand, and my wife's going to buy one, but I'm not going to use one. So that eliminates my choices even further. So yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. I think my next purchase, or not next, but instead of getting a OnePlus 16 at the end of the year, like in November, I'm going to go grab me an Oppo Find X10 Pro Max and do that. Look, you're right. I don't want to be boxed in to what I can use. I don't want the government playing games and limiting our choices, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, I'm gonna purchase outside the box this year and see how that goes. And then that's why I'm so frustrated with Motorola. They have some really, really good options, but they only update 2 of their phones, the Razr Fold and the Signature. Other than that, they don't update shit. Like, I'm not touching a phone if they don't update it. Sorry. So they have some really good options at the mid-range level that really frustrates me. Is the Flip 8 finally going to let you go front screen for anything you want without having to rely on Good Lock module? Yes, I heard that that is correct. That they're going to open it up this year to all apps. So that's what I've heard. Excuse me. The thing I don't understand about Samsung is that why they can't update the S22 to One UI 8.5. It should be fully capable of supporting One UI 8.5. I have no clue either. Yeah, I don't know. For as much as I like Samsung, they're just as guilty as Apple or any other big tech company phasing out their older devices. I mean, let's face it, they do want you to buy a new device. Now, I'm not saying that's solely the reason why they're not updating their phones, but I mean, it should be able to support it. So, what's your opinion on 2 terabyte phones? Will they be rare? Now they will. With the price, you know how expensive a 2 terabyte phone would be? Expensive. Like, so if an iPhone 18 Pro Max coming up was brand new, probably $2,000, 1 terabyte iPhone 18 Pro Max, probably $2,000. The 2 terabyte model would probably be $2,600. Yeah, that's, see, at that point you're just well, in my opinion, see, I passed 128 gig a long time ago, and I've been on 256 gig, like the very minimum that I can use, for about 2 years now, right? And I'm just now at the point, literally in the last 6 months, where anything I buy moving forward is going to be 512. Now, I think at some point I can see myself going to 1 terabyte, but I cannot see myself going over 1 terabyte. And hell, at this point, at this time, with these prices and the storage the way it is, I might just stick at 512 for a while, because you can purchase external storage device like this and pop it on the back of your phone, and you could put a M.2 in here. I think it's a 22. What is it? A 2230, the little small ones, and you can. I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, I think that's the best way to go, because it's going to be way too expensive for 2 terabytes. Okay, let's see here. We went over that yesterday. I think these are all from yesterday. Before we move into Pixel, I wanted to show you another Samsung thing. So, do you remember the report that Ice Universe put out that said, it was earlier this week, that said the Z Flip series, the Z Flip 8, is going to be the last, what did he say? The last small folding phone from Samsung. He was insinuating this is going to be the last Flip, right? Big news, right? That's my favorite foldable. But we got news today that might contradict that statement. Now, typically, as I mentioned the last couple of days, he's a rock solid leaker. Large majority of stuff he puts out comes true. There's new information today that might have you scratching your head, because Samsung just filed a patent for a new flip style phone. And let me show you exactly what that looks like, because it looks a little weird. It's not your typical flip. I should have had this ready for y'all, but I didn't. Check this out. Y'all see this? What the hell is that? Well, it's apparently the future flip. I don't know why they would make it skinny in the middle, but okay, I guess it makes it easier to hold, right? Well, Samsung just filed a new patent. Now, were they approved? I think they were. It says Samsung's latest Galaxy Z Flip patent reveals 4 notable ideas that could shape the future of clamshell foldables. Amid rumors of the discontinuation of the Flip lineup, a newly approved, so it was approved, Samsung patent shows us something exciting. Now, it says this is interesting. So this is how it's going to differ from the current Flip. It doesn't just look slightly similar but a little different. No, it actually functions differently as well. So this filing, this new patent that they were approved, describes a 360-degree hinge, a display that folds inward and outward, just like a laptop. Just like this laptop here. You know how you can flip the screen all the way back and have it into a tablet, and you can flip it all the way, it goes 360 degrees. Well, that's what this new patent has in line for this new Flip. Now, as you know, obviously, the current Flips only rotate 180 degrees, right? Close, open, close, open. This one would go close, open, and close, open. 360, well, you know what I mean. This way, this way, this way, this way. Interesting way to use a phone, because if you open it up, now remember there's a display on the outside. So let me show you this again. So if you open it up, so what if you flipped it all the way back around on its back? So it would have a display. If you laid it down on a counter, it would have a display on the counter and a display wrapped up looking up at you. Now here's a more detailed photo kind of explaining what I was talking about. So here is the general outline of what this is going to look like. Now, I must state that just because they filed a patent, just because it was approved, does not mean that this is going to be the next Flip. Kind of looks that way, but Apple files thousands of patents. Samsung has thousands of patents, but it doesn't necessarily transform or transfer or go to production. Maybe they have a good idea that they think the market might support in 10 years from now. Well, they will draw up a patent and go file it, and hopefully it gets approved. So down the line, 5 to 10 years from now, if kind of tech heads in that way, they're essentially guaranteeing themselves, that company, that they will have a design and that nobody can copy them, because that's what essentially a patent is. You're copywriting your design, so nobody else can put something out similar to it. Now, it is possible some companies do the opposite. Well, not necessarily the opposite, but some companies will kind of get word that maybe Samsung will get word that Apple is working on something. Well, Samsung will rush and work on something, file a patent, get it approved, and then sit on it. And then when Apple wants to put out this product that they were thinking about, well, what do you know? Samsung has the patent. And now they're waving that thing in front of Apple's face like a carrot, and Apple would have to come to Samsung and pay Samsung to produce a product, right, that's similar in design. Stuff like that happens all the time. And it's not just design as well. It's products that serve a purpose or function, right? So interesting. I don't know where this is going to go. Is this going to be the Z Flip 9? I doubt it. This could be a product, like I was just saying, this could be a product we see 5 years from now. Or we might not see it at all. But they think this might be a thing in the future, and they wanted to future-proof this design for down the road. You know what I'm saying? Certainly interesting. I don't know how that would look, how that would work. Well, here's the thing about phones and technology. We've come such a long way in just the last 5 to 7 years. I mean, think about it. Does everybody remember what the iPhone 6 looked like, or the Samsung Galaxy S8. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't that long ago. So what are our phones going to look like in 12 years from now? Pretty crazy. Uh, I have no clue, but I'm sure it's going to be cool in some form or fashion. Now, let's do this. Before we move on to Pixel, we have the marketing material leaked from Samsung in regards to these foldables. Now, we're not going to spend a long time on this. There's really nothing that new. Let's see here. It was on 9 to 5 Google. Let's see here. Where was it? Here we go. These are just official renders, but it does solidify the hardware that they're going to put in there. So this is from Samsung. So this is not a leak. This is not a rumor. It gives you real hardware that they're going to put in these devices, as far as design, as far as camera hardware. Let me see. Where does it have the camera hardware? Is that it? Well, geez, that's a bummer. I think we all know at this point. Look, I looked at it earlier. Not a surprise. It's essentially a refresh. The cameras are basically the same, and I don't think there's going to be much surprise. I think at this point we know basically everything that's going to be on here. One more thing real quick before we move off of Samsung. The battery life. If you're anticipating getting a Fold 8 Ultra, the battery life is supposed to be amazing. Supposed to be. So apparently, the battery life on the Z Fold 8 Ultra is supposed to blow away the battery life on the Z Fold 7. Now, how they're going to do that, I don't know. I mean, there's certain clues. Let me show you this real quick. And we're going to do a giveaway too. Stick around. We're going to do one more giveaway. I know we did one yesterday, but I got one coming for y'all today. We'll get through this real quick. Z Fold 8 Ultra. So, look at this. Samsung's real-world Galaxy Z Fold 8 and 8 Ultra battery life numbers might blow your mind. Yeah, when I read this, I was like, huh? I'm like, okay, but I guess we will find out. We obviously don't know how long Samsung's next generation foldables will last between charges and for actual users, but we're starting to get a pretty good idea. This is what Phone Arena is telling us. So what makes a difference in the battery life then? Well, I think there's a couple of things that are going to play a major factor. And it's no surprise, right? It does have a slightly bigger battery. Excuse me. It does have a more efficient display and certainly more power efficient CPU. So out of those three things, they're claiming this is going to blow away the previous generation's battery life. Now, we've heard that before. These are just claims, so I don't know where this is going to go and what real world battery life is going to look like for users. But these are some bold claims. Let's not, let me look at these numbers here. So what the hell? See, I see these numbers before launches, and I don't know how are they testing this. So they're claiming the Z Fold 8 Ultra is going to last 51 hours, over 2 days. You're telling me this foldable is going to be on 1+15 level battery life? I find that hard to believe. I just do. I don't know. It's got the battery is half the size of the 1+15 battery. and the display size is twice the display of the OnePlus 15. So how does that equate to 51 hours of battery life? I have no clue, but this is what they're claiming. It says real world represents an upgrade of about 25% better real world battery life compared to last year's models. Now, obviously, the Z Fold 8, the wide style, the wide body, there was no previous year. So they're obviously talking about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra compared to the Z Fold 7. 25% better battery life. So if you're interested in that device, may be important information for you, right? But after this, I'm going to link this article down in the description for you. I did not do it before, but I'll do it after. So if you want to check this out, come back here a few minutes after this is over, and I'll put it down there. Now, real quick, let's jump into Pixel real fast. So this Pixel 11 series, Six and 6S, yeah, those are good phones. 6 Plus, man, you got a lot of iPhones. This new ROG Astro tablet looks pretty cool, but again, no SD card for gaming device. That can be a problem, obviously. Yeah, I watched the Flossie Carter video. He updated his, he uploaded his review video of that today. I was interested in it. Man, the price went up on that as well. Last year's Astro tablet was like $500, brand new. This one now is like $799. I'm like, holy shit, man! Yikes! I wanted to get it, but I don't think I am. Pixel. This might be a decent upgrade. Now, I think somebody called me out on a video that I uploaded yesterday or a day or two ago about the Pixel 11 series. They did tell me. They weren't trying to tell me. They did tell me that this is not such of an upgrade. It's not a big upgrade like I'm making it out to be. Now, I'm not saying this is going to change the world. Oh my God, this is life-changing upgrade here. It's not, but if you're a Pixel fan, because it seems like with the Pixel, you either love it or you hate it. I'm like the only one stuck in the middle. Pixels are great at what they do. Now, there's one glaring obvious issue, and that's with CPU/GPU. And that, as time goes on, that seems to be the only quirk or only big issue remaining. If they could just get that CPU right. It's like, yeah, you think, but let's put that to the side. I know that's a big deal, but anybody that's used a Pixel knows it's really not that big of a deal. Like, okay, so it can't, go neck to neck with a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Like, we know that. But I'm going to ask you, have you used a Pixel lately? Meaning, have you used it as your daily driver for at least a month in the last year? You would know it's a pretty good device. Like, I know I shit on them a lot, but it's a good phone. It's a great product. Again, no phone is perfect. You're gonna have me defending Pixel here again, right? It's a good phone. It just is. Can it do some things better than others? Sure. Just like the Samsung, just like OnePlus, just like Motorola. But it seems like over the last couple of years, they're ironing out some of the other little quirks, or they're improving in some areas where that needed improvement over the last few years. And that's exactly what you're going to get on this Pixel 11 device, right? So they are improving a bunch of security stuff, which is always nice. Yes, they're getting more expensive. I get it. Yes, they're going to give you less RAM, but remember, that's on the base model. And they're going to improve. Now we get word they're drastically improving their face unlock to be more secure. Now, this comes with the new Titan M3 security chip. That new security chip, and it's coming with all new CPU, all new TPU. It's going to scan your face much, much better, much more secure than previous Pixels. And that's where that new Titan M3 security chip is going to play a role. It's going to be able to scan your face more intelligently, more secure, and faster than ever before. So, I'm actually excited to see what the new Pixel 11 series looks like. As I mentioned before, we're going to get one. And I'll have one here to unbox, to check it out, to see what it looks like, test the face unlock, and test everything else. So stick around, and we'll cover this extensively. I can promise you that. We're also going to have case reviews. I've been in contact with a bunch of case companies in the last day or two. So we're going to cover Pixel. Look, I'm still a Pixel fan. I just, a little on the rocks, but I still think they have a good product. If that's what you like, I think it's going to be a great phone. So let's do a giveaway and we'll get out of here. You have, 11 iPhones. Wow. Well, it's certainly more than me. Holy crap, that's a lot. So do me a favor, while I set this up, go into the chat and type hashtag, let me put this up, hashtag gift. You should see it right there. And we'll do a giveaway right now. So I'll give you all 30 seconds or so. Let me set this up in the background. Hang on 1 second. All right. Is everybody ready? Only got 2 entries. You got a better chance of winning. All right, is everybody ready? 2, that's it. Let's go. Good luck, guys. Xmivirus. I'm sure I butchered that. 202. Congratulations to you. Appreciate you viewing the channel, and congratulations. Email me, esimstudios@gmail.com, esimstudios@gmail.com. I'll get you a Amazon e-gift card or a Cash App or whatever we can work out. You're very welcome. Thank you for viewing the channel. It means a lot. If you did not win, stick around because we do these quite often. I think last month we did like 6 or 7 in a row. Our YouTube ad revenue comes, I think I get a deposit on the 20th or 21st. I give back to you, the viewer. I gotta be the only channel. Well, I'm not gonna say only because there's a lot of YouTube channels, but certainly the only tech channel, right? That at least does giveaways this often. I know some do giveaways, but I'm giving my ad revenue and giving it back to you. Not all of it, because I do need to buy tech, but some of it, right? So, you know, tell me if there's another channel. I'd be hard pressed to find one, but that's what it's all about. So congratulations. Email me if you need to see it or copy and paste it. It is posted in the description down below. Click the title, expand the description box, and my email address is down there as well. And I'll get you your money ASAP. Appreciate the time. Join us tomorrow. I'm going to be uploading some shorts here soon. And follow us on TikTok if you have a burner phone and or a burner account. Would love to see you over there on a burner phone that I have TikTok running on. But I do appreciate the time, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.